Hey, y'all, welcome to Nuts and Bolts of Pool. All right. I had someone reach out to me recently and ask me about the mental side of pool and how to improve that aspect of the game. So, I decided that I would have a series of videos that would cover winning the mental side of pool. I have a lot of information on potential ways to help the viewers of the channel overcome any mental obstacle they may face. The first thing I will cover in the relationship, this is the relationship you got to understand about the mental game. It's about the body and the mind. They're connected, and there's no way around it. That as a pool player, you got to know this. So, now, do you want to know what the mental game is about? Well, pool is mostly mental, and that's what they say. That's certainly true, but the mental side of pool is fundamentally physical. That's because pool's a sport, and you might think that this is an odd thing to say about a game. You can say like a fat drunk guy. They can play while smoking. That's certainly, if we call a pool player an athlete, well, we're at the risk of being like laughed out of the room, like in an average pool hall. Most people that, they run racks or whatever, they can't even run a mile downhill on a cool day, but that's just something, pool won't make you sweat unless you bet money you don't have and, you find yourself losing. So, if you play long hours of pool, even the smoke, the drink, the greasy food that comes with it, it could seem to hurt your cardiovascular system, and it definitely doesn't improve it. That's for sure. In the most important sense, however, pool is a sport. It's fundamentally physical. Bodies moving, sticks moving, balls across surfaces. In pool, unlike chess or Scrabble or backgammon or even poker, the difference between an excellent player and a nobody is not a matter of intellect. It's a matter of physical ability, and in pool, all the knowledge in the world will not help without exquisite physical skill. Right? So physical skill in pool depends almost entirely on the mind. Since playing pool is purposely active and it's activity as distinct from autonomic activity like breathing or reflexive activity like jumping when you sit on a tack, every motion you make in the game requires mental activity. The mental game consists of the mental activity that creates the physical motions of the game. So many players seem to think the mental game is something you add to your physical game to make it better. So that's like putting Tabasco sauce on a bland meal, and then you say something like, well, my skills are fine, but my mental game is weak. Well, sometimes that's true, mainly in competition, as I'll discuss that later on. In general, though, however, your game consists of both physical skill. It depends on the mind, and the importance of the mental game comes from its effect on the body. So, like I said, the body and the mind are connected. Right? And when most people talk about pool psychology, it seems to assume that the mental game consists mostly of thoughts. You control your mind, think this, don't think that, and so forth and so on. In fact, little pool psychology should have much to do with thinking, right? It's usual, a sense that all the parts of the central nervous system controlling our spatial perceptions and fine motor motions have rather weak indirect connections with the parts of our brains that use words. If you think about it, this should be obvious, right? The parts of our brains that control spatial relations and fine motor control evolved long before the wordy parts of our brains. We share spatial and motor brain structures with all sorts of animals. that cannot they can't use words. I mean, most mental activity in pool must consist of visual, spatial, tactile, I mean, in kinesthetic images. That's images. I mean, your mind should be occupied with images, not ideas, when you play pool. So you already know this. I mean, though perhaps you haven't realized it. Think of the experience of like dead stroke, right? In dead stroke, you have nothing but sensational images. I mean, guiding your play. There's no calculations, there's no words, there's no numbers. You just sense what to do. That's the difference between images and ideas, right? So, I mean, scientific researchers, I mean, you know, being logical, wordy types, originally assumed that mentality depends on words, sentences, and logical relations among them. Ideas expressed in sentences form the heart of intelligence, they thought. I mean, this turned out to be false as psychology has grown, especially as neuroscience and like artificial intelligence have entered the fray. I mean, we know like now that most work of the mind does not evoke words or sentences at all. The work that calculates motions and controls muscles especially depends on images, not ideas. I mean, that's why visualization is a popular form of improving your mental game, and it works. I mean, visual images, unlike verbal cognitions, actually have close connections with the parts of your brain that control your emotions and your motions of stroke. I mean, visualization, however, is only part of the story. Your eyes can't move your cue stick. More important, you cannot see most of what you must control to play well. Namely, your own body. The only thing you can control in the game, I mean, is your own body. I mean, most that falls outside the range of vision when you play. I mean, visualization, though, I mean, useful, helps only indirectly with what's most important, right? So, tactile and kinesthetic images of what you will feel, images of your body and motion matter at least as much as visual images, perhaps more. Since our visual centers connect intimately to the parts of our brain that control motion, visualization, it pulls the body along its train, so to speak. But I mean, deliberately improving your mental game requires that you learn to focus directly on the full range of sensory images, right? So when you call the body and mind connection, let's call it the body and mind connection. Let's do that, right? The sensational imagination of the mind's imaging what you will sense, though, through every part of your body as your body moves through your shot, and how each sensation connects to what will happen on the table. The mental game consists mostly, okay, of the sensational imagination. When we seek to improve our mental game, that's what we need to work on, our sensory images of every element of play, our images of the body in motion. Okay, we must call these images to mind, study them as we approach the table, play with them, choose among them, organize them, and keep them foremost in our consciousness as we follow them as we shoot, right? I mean, the best self-talk during play is none at all, okay? No talking to yourself. Good research in several sports have shown repeatedly that when the best competitors play well, the conceptual and verbal centers of the brain show little activity at all. The sensory centers, however, work vigorously, right? So let's talk about the conceptual mind for a moment. I want you to think of dead stroke. It's played entirely controlled by the sensational imagination, right? That's what we aspire in working on the mental game. As much as we're not able to spend all of our playing time in dead stroke. We certainly cannot play in dead stroke when acquiring or using new skills. And all too often, even our most trusted skills get messed up sometimes, Ideas, concepts, numbers, sentences, calculations, and so forth matter, right? Though they play mainly a supporting role in a sound mental game, right? So remember that. They're only a supporting role. First, ideas are conceptual blueprints. They instruct us on how to assemble certain motions. Do this, then this will avoiding this, and make sure you do this and this and this, right? The idea is themselves can't move our bodies, but they can guide us in putting images of our body in motion together to form a complex picture of our action, right? So when we practice these skills, we have no choice but to use ideas to think our way through new physical processes we have difficulty performing. New skills or remedying like deficiencies in old ones because we possess neither the images of executing the skills nor wiring that makes skills automatic. And acquiring new skills, consistently following the blueprint allows us to create the repertoire of images that will guide us when the skill has become second nature, right? So when acquiring new skills or remedying deficiency in old ones, we also have to use ideas to catalog and compare images. You must have acute body awareness as we shoot, noticing exactly what we do and how it feels and what happens as a result. We must deliberately commit images of our action to memory within a few seconds of executing it. Then we have to analyze it, and then which motions led to which results, and all of this requires logical, analytic attention. You'll never learn much from practice without such deliberate analysis. Right? You have to analyze it. A blueprint is not a house, though, and an idea is not a skill. You use ideas to build the skills when the skill has become second nature. When you've acquired the image and habits of the mind that organize them properly, you put the blueprint away. Okay? Ideally, we would get past needing the blueprints altogether, but we don't. Sad to say, most days we encounter quite a few situations that we have to think through. The senses alone don't show us what to do. We sometimes have to pull out the blueprints to plot a strategy, to calculate a shot, or to undertake something a bit above our skill level. Okay, this is the second way that ideas matter in good play. In physical activity, ideas matter when we don't know what to do. You find yourself at a loss, you face the table, and no images of what to do present themselves, or the images that occur make no sense. You're confused. You have to think through your confusion. Sometimes the logical and the analytic and the worried parts of your brain respond to the cries for help from the rest of your central nervous system, and they respond with ideas. Okay? Still, the idea alone cannot do the work. Ideas can guide us in assembling mental images, but they can't control motions. Always, we need to use ideas to help us get back as far as possible to images. You got to get back to those images you're seeing, right? So, how do we do that? Looking at the table, you think through what needs doing, use whatever ideas, you must make any calculations you find needful, and summon it up, all that, that's all that's relevant. Sensory images you have in your memory banks. Use your ideas to organize your images into a sense of what to do as well as you can. Think through your situation and organize sense of what to do, then execute the shot, guided by your image of the action you will need to undertake, right? So even when you must use ideas, how well you play depends on how well you get beyond the ideas into, So like sensory imagination ideas never cease to be more than blueprints. You must always use them in connection to, not instead of, the sensory imagination. Okay? How do you know when you're through the thinking process to a good sensory image? You just feel it, right? Images cause bodily anticipation. You think about other sorts of imagining, right? That causes bodily responses. Picture the face of your worst enemy, right? Maybe, and notice how your body responds, and you understand what I mean here, right? You anticipate what each part of your body will feel like as you make the shot, what sort of sensory feedback you will feel as you shoot, and how all of it will fit together. Only when you feel it throughout the body is your sensory imagination well formed, right? So almost without exception, when someone is struggling, it is because he is trying to guide the motion by ideas, interjecting ideas into your motion, simply interrupting them, making them herky-jerky. It's oil-coordinated, it's self-defeating image of and it's like, imagine a baseball pitcher who has to start his windup, and then he keeps asking his coach, every shot, hey, trying to guide your emotions with ideas, exactly like sending out for instructions every second. Most of us, when we find ourselves in an uncertain competitive situation, we tend to fall back on our ideas and try to use them to control our shots. After all, our ideas are very good, right? This is simply a mistake. The mental game always comes down to how well your sensory imagination controls your play. Well, you might ask, can mental skills really be learned? A few years back, I had an exchange with messages on AZ Billiards with perhaps the most famous billiard authority on pool technique. That message was it was very courteous. Nothing in the tone caused me any disturbance. Rather in person, told that he believes that mental skills required to play well cannot be learned. You have them or you don't, as part of your general character. That's what he said, such an opinion comes from someone that doesn't know the game. If somebody didn't know the game, they wouldn't know any better. It wouldn't bother me, right? But coming from a highly experienced, respected authority, it gave me some question that this person, they know billiards. It's coming from a very intelligent observer of the game. I suspect his belief must be coming from somewhere. Minds generally don't work the way, conventional wisdom says they do. Few people that know pool, talk about the fundamentals at all. Fundamentally all important role of the sensory imagination. In their view, it's all about controlling your thoughts and managing your self-talk. Few ever say mental skills cannot be learned. Right. Obviously, we need sound knowledge on how minds work if we're able to develop some mental practices in addition to learning mental skills. Requires psychological awareness on the part of the player and the knowledge of what to look for within that awareness. To improve your play through the study of the mental game, you must know the respective rules of the sensory imagination and the conceptual wordy part of your mind. You have to look for gaps in your sensory images, over dependence on concepts and the such, right? So let's see, like any kind of observation, correct observation of our mental activities has to be learned. Consider an analogy of bird watching, right? A watcher sees birds where no one else can see them. A bad watcher sees birds where there are none and doesn't see most of the ones that are there. Learning how to spot birds it is not an acquired skill. You learn how to look for movements that don't match the wind. For instances, or bulges that twitch, that's the stuff, that's a perfect analogy to it, you know. We have to learn to pay attention to our inner lives, decipher what we see there, and deliberately internally undertake reform to where we need to improve, right? Improvement. Self-awareness, like any other kind of investigation, can be learned and improved. We can learn what to pay attention to and what to make of it. Therefore, I believe that mental skills can be learned, right, at the pool table as everywhere else, right? So that a billiard authority, that person I spoke to, and he may be right about most conventional wisdom on the mental game, has helped few people, right? All the quick fixes to the mental side of pool don't do much, except for all the people make people have to have a false confidence, right? We learn instead that the mental game is about the body, and thus that the heart of the mental game is the sensory imagination, and we will learn how and where to cultivate self-awareness. We can be sure that the player will have the capacity to self-regulate and learn, which will then come into play in pool as it does everywhere else in life. I mean, now how do you do that, you ask, right? So, well, you want to know how to acquire a sound mental game, right? There's no magic words. There's no gimmicks. There's no medications on the planet, and there's no positive affirmations that can give you a sound mental game. You acquire a good mental game through long hours of practice, developing a sound repertoire of images and good habits of organizing them, guided by good ideas of each person acquires the images as his body in motion causes specific results through experience and paying close attention to experiences. Good ideas direct your attention, but you have to acquire the images and organize them yourself. We know scientifically that you have only a few seconds to capture memories of a bodily motion unless you pay attention to your body immediately upon doing something. The sensations of what you just did vanish. I mean, there's no gimmick that can remedy that, okay? So to improve your mental game, you must have a acute body awareness, and as soon as you shoot, you must pay attention to what you just did and what happened as a result of both sides and all of that complexities of each matter. You have to pay deliberate attention to all your bodily sensations, and you have to pay attention to exactly what happened on the table. Then you need to correlate the two. As you do all of this, you commit an image to memory, which you can call up as needed in the future. Focus on this, the complex of the body plus result, and you have a chance to learn something about your game. All right? I mean, no one can do this for you. Only you know what your body feels like when you make a certain motion. Only you make the connections between certain bodily motions and the result outside of the body. Only you can deliberately catalog and study how different motions and sensations and results correlate. Only you can make the decisions, right, as to which motions your body lead to which results. Only you can summon in the memory images of the motions you will need on each shot before you, and only you can acquire these images over time. One experience at a time, only over time can you amass the database of images you'll use in drawing conclusions and making choices, hence cultivating good habits of mind, right? Mental skills have mostly to do with how you inhibit your body during play. Thus, you won't improve your mental pool game without seeking help from someone to improve it, if that makes sense, right? I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I create these videos. and all the videos I do. It's all for you to be a better pool player and help you grow in this sport. And that's a sport we all love to play, right? So remember, I'm going to have more videos dedicated to winning the mental game of pool. And if you like this, right, what I'm sharing with you, please subscribe to the channel. Give a big thumbs up to the channel, please. Hit the notification bell to be notified of any new videos coming up. And thank you again for watching this video. And this is the nuts and bolts of pool, okay? I'll see you soon. And remember, you can win the mental game of pool.